Lincoln County, Nevada, 1984. Counterintelligence Officer Richard Doty begins a new assignment at the top-secret U.S. military base, Area 51. What he is tasked with is highly classified, but years later, he comes forward and makes a remarkable claim. He says that during his time at Area 51, he observed a military experiment that succeeded in ripping a hole in the fabric of space and time.
I was some distance away in a control center watching the experiment. I was just an observer, I'm not a scientist. And when they generated this beam through this magnetic field, what I saw was a wavy orb appearing. The orb was moving a little bit. The background was real wavy, almost as if you were looking at a hot sidewalk during the summertime. And it became larger and larger and larger and larger. And behind it, there was a flashing light. And when I asked a scientist who was standing right next to me, what did we just see? He said, we just opened a fabric of space.
Doty claims that the team used argon gas and anti-magnetic sheaths to try to keep the portal open. It worked for only a few seconds, but it was enough time for researchers to observe what was on the other side.
The scientists believe that you open a fabric of space, you're in a different dimension. That's an entirely different dimension and possibly an alternate universe. That's the way they explained it to me.
After this initial experiment, Doty was informed that the research team successfully replicated the results.
After the first test, all the scientists were fascinated and thrilled, and they wanted to do more and more and more. And in a period of about 6 weeks, they did 5 different tests, similar to the first test, opening the portal. Now, they wanted to use more energy. They had a high-energy laser. They wanted to try a chemical laser, which is a little bit different than an energy laser. They actually built a brand-new power plant, and all of that electricity was being used for this particular project. They tried to get as much energy as they could to be directed at that one point to see how much of it they could open up.
According to Doty, this is only one of many experiments the U.S. government has conducted to try to create portals. He believes these programs began over 50 years ago and might continue today.
Ever since the Central Intelligence Agency, Office of Scientific Intelligence, realized that there were theories about wormholes, they engaged in a number of operations over the years to try to prove wormholes were possible. And there were a number of operations. The one I worked on was Project Jackknife. The project, it started before my time, probably started in the early 70s. And I only was in it up until about 1990. After that, somebody else took over. But those programs continued on and on and on. And I can guarantee you, even today, that there's some type of experiment going on.
Could it be that for the past 50 years, scientists working for the United States government have secretly been attempting to create a real traversable Stargate? And if so, is it possible that they have succeeded?
It's a fascinating thought that the U.S. military has been working on Stargates and wormholes and portals, and we might imagine that if they've poured enough money and resources into creating these Stargates, that maybe they already have this technology and have refined it to a point where they're able to teleport people and objects from place to place.
This isn't just science fiction. This isn't just technology that would be fun or nice to have. Sad to say, of course, a lot of this probably would be weaponized. I mean, imagine not having to launch a nuclear missile, which can be detected, tracked, intercepted, and then the opposition press the button and it's Armageddon. If you could just send your atomic weapons through a portal and instantly destroy the other nation's offensive capabilities. This is war-winning technology, and that explains the secrecy.